Hello.
Hello, Yvonne, and
Hi.
thank you for getting in touch with me to record this video testimonial. We're going to talk with you about your experience of writing up your thesis and also going through the Gold Group Coaching Program. Oh, excuse me. So, Yvonne, please start by telling us how did you feel and what situation you were when you first reached out to me, which was back in about like July or
April.
August. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, what situation you were in with your thesis?
Well, I think I was about 1 year and a half into the writing process, and basically I had no complete chapters finished. I had one or two chapters half hanging, and I was very depressed. Yeah, I was feeling totally shattered because I just couldn't pick myself up into the writing mode. Yeah, every day, sometimes I passed by, I couldn't get one paragraph out, and it was very frustrating. And that affected my personal life, affected my family, affected my health. Yeah, and I was almost at the edge of quitting my PhD after 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, having this sort of quitting or possibly quitting your PhD after 5 years is really daunting, right? And you mentioned your family, and just tell us that you have children, so you're looking after them, right? And you were trying to write up your PhD. So how many children and how old are they?
I have two children, and
Yeah,
they are almost 2 and 7 now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the reason
So
why I'm
I guess
asking is because many ladies will resonate with this because there are so many women scientists out there that have these young families and they are trying to write up the PhD. Yes, so tell us more.
yes. Because the difficulty, I guess, it happened when I had a second child, and she was born in the middle of my writing process.
Yeah.
So that adds the difficulty, yeah, for me physically and mentally as well to pick it up. Yeah, to organize my time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was your situation, and then we got in touch and we had like a private conversation, and then you joined the Gold Group. This is a group where you have quite a personal, ongoing support. So
Yeah.
tell me what happened right fairly at the beginning with your writing.
Um. Yeah. Right after I joined, you mean?
Yes, yes. You remember how we were talking about writing up your literature review chapter
Yeah.
and finally getting it to your supervisor?
Yeah. I think at that time, basically, I didn't quite know what to do. So I still remember your first task was getting us to do the master list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got together a list of stuff that I needed to do, and then we started to prioritize, I think, to
Yeah.
look into which bit is manageable, which bit I need to do first.
Yeah.
Right. So I sort of have some direction. I guess I know, which bit is more important, which bit I need to let go. You give me some structure, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I know. Yeah, how I can delegate or maybe give up some, let go some, focus on some. Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes.
fairly quickly, I think after that, the initial 2 weeks, I already get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my
Yes,
literature
I
review.
remember that you had a deadline with your supervisor to submit your literature review chapter, and it was just
Mhm.
not getting out. You were just still working on it and kind of bypassing your deadline. And
Yeah.
then we just worked on you allowing yourself to write them perfectly. And basically, you haven't written or haven't given any chapters for how long? Like for 2 years before that? Or it was like, it just seemed like
Yeah,
years.
yeah, maybe a year or
A
so.
year, a year, right. So it was really for us to focus on creating that breakthrough for you so that finally you can submit something, right?
Uh,
So,
yeah, I think fairly quickly you nailed down that we decided on a target that a very concrete target. In fact, that was what I lacked. I think Yeah, that I could focus and get that done, even though it was not satisfactory, but still we had something to submit. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a huge breakthrough that you could finally submit something, right? So, and after that, I remember you posted on Facebook saying, okay, at this pace, it will take you another 2 years to write up your PhD, but then you didn't have 2 years, right? You had a fairly short deadline. So tell me what happened
Yeah, I
after.
had less half a year. Yeah, I had less than half a year to go. Yeah. Yeah. So at that point I was like, yeah, I'm happy to follow whoever could give me the best advice. I'll just do whatever it takes to get it done
Yeah.
within the half a year.
So how did you manage to write up those many chapters in such a short time? What was like the main thing that you've implemented?
Yeah, I think the bi-weekly course was good because we had to set some targets and we had to report back to our group. Um, and then it was good to get advice. Sometimes, whichever chapter we write, whether it's methodology, or literature review, or organizing, or picking up example, whatever we do, we bound to bump into some barriers. And sometimes we don't know how to go about it. And it was good to have a support group, everybody chip in, what they experience and yeah, or even how to deal with our supervisor sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to agree with the requirements. So it was good to get some opinions from the other ladies and from you, and sometimes you give us some reference, give us some suggestion, and just simplify the whole thought process. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the things that you liked most about the program, right? The bi-weekly calls. Every 2 weeks, you'll just need to stand in front of the group on Skype and just say, well, I've done this or I haven't done this, right? So that was an accountability for you. So just tell us, what have you managed to write up in those months that we worked together? Basically throughout the gold group, which spanned about like 5 months altogether, right? When we worked closely, how many chapters did you manage to write up?
Well, basically the entire thesis.
Which was how many chapters?
6 chapters.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
from wanting to quit to regaining that steady progress, you managed to submit it, and you had a very hard deadline, right? You had
Yes, I had deadline basically is I submit or I have to give up the whole PhD. Yeah,
yeah.
they will delete my name from the university.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that was a real shock for you when you found out that that's what the deal is, right? So now that
yeah,
you've managed it, and I know you still need to do the corrections and, revisit that, but you managed to meet that deadline. So tell
yeah.
us, like, how do you feel about that?
Great.
Yeah,
I can't be more happy.
yeah,
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 I still find it a bit unbelievable.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did that. So
yeah,
basically,
yeah,
from my point of view, just watching you to go through those blocks that you had, like literally couldn't write anything, to finally submitting one chapter, to then just really increasing your piece, you really allowed yourself to write imperfectly, because that was a huge obstacle. So what do you think was like the most thing that you got out of the group for you personally?
I basically think that your program is more than just writing the thesis. I
Yeah,
think your program helps for a lifetime. A lot of
yeah,
the tips you gave, like how to manage my time, how to think positively,
yeah.
I think it has a life impact, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Like now
affected.
and then, yeah, whenever I come to some barrier, I can just breathe and think of some of the things you taught me, and I can just relax and let go of it. Yeah.
So it affected not just your PhD, but also your family life, and
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's
All
good.
right.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, thank you for sharing this. And maybe just as we wrap up, you can imagine that there are other ladies just as yourself in that situation. What would you tell them after you've experienced, after you've learned what you've learned? What would you tell to those ladies?
Well, first of all, I think it's okay to ask for help, really. Yeah, I think a lot of the PhD students, they think that it has to be independent research and they have to figure out themselves. They have to learn by themselves. And sometimes they feel bad to ask for help or to, get a coach or something. They feel that it's not necessary. They must be able to find out. But no, I feel that it's good. It's good to ask for help, and we are all in this together in the academic world. Yeah, so definitely do not lock yourself up, open up, talk to people, learn more from other people on the tips and stuff.
Yeah. This is a great advice, and especially it would help people to also open themselves up to a program like this, because obviously the scientists won't, think that they can do it by themselves, or they should do it by themselves. But you stepped up for yourself and went through this program, and it helped you immensely. I'm so happy for you to achieving this and submitting this thesis. So huge congratulations, Yvonne, and thank you so much for sharing your experience. So this is all for today, and thanks
Thank
so
you for
much,
having me.
and talk to you soon.
All the best. Bye.
Bye.